Good morning, lovelies. Earlier this year, I finally caved and I joined TikTok, thinking that, like my Instagram and my YouTube channel, it would take a long time to grow into anything substantial. And then, yeah. Now, this would make sense if I were already a best-selling author, like if Stephen King decided to join TikTok. That would be great. But my book Citadel doesn't come out until next year. Like, I don't even have a book cover to show off yet. I managed to do this as a total internet nobody. Now, I am going to preface this video by saying that I am not a social media expert, okay? In fact, despite being only 26 years old, my understanding of technology and social media and the internet is roughly on par with your grandparents, so I really have no idea how I pulled this off. I got lucky. I can only share my anecdotal experience, and I hope that this offers some glimmer of insight and or encouragement for you to create your own TikTok and grow as a writer. So let's start at the beginning. I started TikTok in October of 2021 at the urge of my literary agents. I had just signed the publishing deal for Citadel. It's a new adult science fiction novel, and the next step was naturally to start growing a following online so that by the time it comes out in June 2023, there are a bunch of people who are ready to buy it. By the way, if you're interested in the science fiction new adult novel about a small human city dealing with aliens that are basically wolves with wings, telepathy, and telekinesis, it comes out next year. The mailing list sign up is in the description of this video. Anyway, moving on, I started with the standard book talk stuff. I mean, reviews of books and movies that I'd recently consumed. I did these little 1 or 2 minute summaries of classical books and literature, book hauls, book memes, etc. And I grew very slowly. Despite having some experience with cameras, TikTok is not at all like YouTube, so I had to figure out how that platform worked. But I should have remembered one of the earliest pieces of content creating advice out there, which is to niche down. You get as specific as possible. You don't want to cast a wide net. You want to cast a very specific net. I remember this lesson with my first viral video, which was a book meme. But it wasn't just a book meme, it was a meme about a very specific book fandom, Percy Jackson. That got me a few extra followers, but even with niching down as much as possible, cutting out anything to do with movies or horror, shifting from literary classics to modern fandoms, focusing exclusively on books, my video views ranged wildly from 60 to 16,000. I had a few hundred followers by the end of the second month, which is faster than I had ever grown on YouTube, and I thought, well, this is it. This is how it's going to be. It's going to be slow, steady progress for months, if not years. That's just how growing a social media platform works. Then, a double whammy. First, I posted a new video meme, this one about a cultist who kidnaps someone for their virgin blood and then gets an earful about asexuality. Because, oh yeah, I am aromantic asexual. I am a member of the queer community. I can make jokes about that and combine it with fantasy and science fiction like I do with my actual books. I'll come back to this later. The second video of mine that hit big was my first men writing women badly, and it grew so popular. It is my only video so far to reach 1 million views that I started a whole playlist just reading snippets aloud of that type of work and reacting to them. I posted a compilation of those types of TikToks here on my channel if you want to check that out. It is a great reminder that no matter how bad of a writer you think you are, there's always someone who's worse. I went from a few hundred followers to 10,000 followers in about a month. And I continued on this path because, wouldn't you? It was working. Pretty much every video I posted was either a men writing women badly or a fantasy aro ace meme. These videos mostly center around the premise of how an aromantic and or asexual person would react to such classic fantasy creatures as vampires, fairies, sirens, witches. Because if you don't know, aces or asexuals do not experience sexual attraction, and aros or aromantics do not experience romantic attraction, and I am both. So all those classic fairy tales about people meeting their downfall because of these creatures, it wouldn't happen to us. At least, not in that way. The sirens would not be able to lure us in with promises of sex, but promises of garlic bread? They're micro stories. That's what I was posting. I mean, they're basically flash fiction, which is just really, really short stories. In a sense, I'm giving my TikTok audience a taste of my writing style. And I joke with my friends, especially in my D&D group, that I'm a bad actress or a bad role player, but I mean, while I'm never going to get cast in a Hollywood blockbuster, I can handle a few skits. And this is great, because nobody is expecting professional-grade, Oscar-worthy acting here. It's TikTok, not HBO. That pressure to perform at your very, very best is minimal, if it's even there at all. I'm still posting general book memes, but they don't get nearly as much traction as my other stuff unless I'm doing it through an explicit queer lens. Now this is largely because of competition. BookTok and WriterTok are extremely saturated. They are flooded with that type of content, so you need to find a way to stand out. I'm very lucky in that I found 2 ways to stand out, although I'm starting to realize that one of those ways is short-lived. Lately, when I've posted a men writing badly video, it hasn't gained nearly as many views as usual. The videos that get tens of thousands of views in the first few hours are the exception now, not the norm. I've gone from explosive exponential growth back to that slow upward crawl, which tells me that it's time to switch tactics again. Is it frustrating? Yeah, of course it is. But this is just how social media works, alright? You have to stay flexible, adaptable, ride the trends when you can, and switch over to a new one when you have to. I might post a few more men writing women badly. I've got some extras filmed and stashed away on my hard drive so that, if I don't have the chance to film anything, I got something to post. But that's no longer going to be the focus. And it shouldn't be. I want people to get excited for what I'm writing about, not what some other dude wrote about. So I'm changing the type of content that I'm putting on my TikTok, and so far, it's working. Tumblr memes about sci-fi, fantasy, and superheroes have proven to be the new way forward. Even though they don't get as many views as what I'm used to, they get a ton of engagement, likes, and most importantly, comments. I've started branching into Dungeons & Dragons. That's always been a favorite pastime of mine. And I'm subverting the usual D&D tropes in the same way that I subvert the classic literary tropes in my novels. So like, the bard in this D&D group is asexual. My paladin is totally wild and feral, which means the rogue is the responsible member of the party. And of course, I'm still posting fantasy aro ace memes because that's just a huge part of my identity, and a lot of my written stories include queer characters, so it makes sense that my TikTok would too. And even if I never gain a new follower, I still say that my TikTok has been very successful, because a few weeks ago I posted a couple of videos announcing my CITADEL contract, telling people what it was about and when it was available. Even though I didn't get a whole lot of views on those videos, I got a ton of interactions and comments. So many people saying, I want one, or when does this come out, or where can I buy it? I've grown an audience that is excited when I show them new content, both videos and books, and that I'm excited to show it to them. At the end of the day, big numbers don't mean a whole lot. You want actual human interaction. Gaining one follower who comments on every video and is counting the days to your book release is so much better than 1,000 followers who will just like a couple of videos and then that's it. The biggest lesson I've learned from all this is that you need to niche down and create videos to your specific audience. You've written a whole novel for that audience. You can handle a few videos. My audience is mostly queer, specifically aromantic and or asexual, around my age, and they love sci-fi and fantasy. Figure out your audience and start filming.